Cause it's not,
No, I'm just afraid like some fill fall in it or something.
I know.
You gotta get it pushed in and,
yep, filled in.
yeah.
There used to be lots of them around town, and that's what most everybody did with them.
Shayla,
Yeah.
did you tell Dustin you should be here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
As soon as you do that, we get.
I was a lifeguard, so
Yeah.
one,
Then where are you gonna hide?
one person for Ron,
We better. Well, I can hide them.
come over for Ron, but he's not 18, so Ron's not too tickled about it, but
I don't think we have daycare here, do we?
Every time you hear that story, it's kind of a community thing to have.
Yeah.
I had a Sunday school teacher once, and she fell backwards in the window well, because she was mowing the yard and they had a push mower. And she backed up a little and took a step too far and then just,
Oh,
I was like, oh gosh.
I bet that hurt.
I bet it did, she was okay, especially with the mower didn't go in with her, but,
Yeah, well, thank goodness.
but it was like, remember she said that, I was like, this is being southern, like, what's a window well?
How's Gavin doing?
What's that?
How's Gavin doing?
Just hardly even started. Yeah, the 1 year that I could have been going, you know.
I kind of remember you saying that. I just didn't know how far you waited.
They'll get going this week for sure, but
45 days, and it's like, this would be nice.
yeah, it'd be perfect right now, but
We'll call the meeting to order and begin with the pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have nothing to add or delete from the agenda, so I'll call for a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as printed. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Approval of the minutes. They're found on pages 4 through 9. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes as printed.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as printed. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Public input. Is there anybody here got anything that they want to talk about that's not on the agenda? Okay. Hearing none, we'll start with the department head reports found on pages 4 through 9. Are there any questions or comments about the department reports?
I got one thing, Ron. We are gonna surplus the
Turn it on.
street sweeper, the old sweeper.
Turn it on.
Lights on it.
Is it?
Oh, it's a reflection. It is now. Anyway, the street sweeper would like to declare that. I think it's been declared surplus, but we'll need to have 3 people appraise it. And then you guys decide how we're gonna do that. Pretty sure we already declared it surplus a month ago. But I wanted to keep it through the spring a little bit so we could get some use out of it, so.
So who are you getting to appraise it?
Usually we have the department, committee, they go look at it, and I usually call up the vendor that sells it, cause they'll know what it'd be worth as far as their particular unit, and just kinda go off that. But as far as when it's, how to sell it, you know, if you want to seal bids, I know Shayla mentioned, using Dan's deal through, do you know what company they use for that online bidding?
I did, I think it's, I did too.
Okay.
Something auction.
Okay, cause there's
Is that
that,
ever-
and then Purple Wave, and Big Iron, there's different ways we can do it.
Has that ever been on a resolution to declare it surplus?
About 2 months ago, but I wanted to keep it for a while, till we use this other one to see if we had any quirks.
Or we'll have to appoint 3 people then for, to appraise it.
Yeah. I know in the past they've just used committee members of my department, but, you know, if not, I don't care, it doesn't make a difference to me.
Anybody on here want to volunteer?
Well, 3 on the street committee now, isn't there?
The 3 on the street committee can do it.
Joe, Jeff, and Bob.
That'll work.
I'll make a phone call in the next day or two, and just kinda let them know how many hours are on it, and they'll give me kind of an idea, and we'll just go from there.
Well, we're gonna need a motion to approve them to appraisal.
I'll make the motion. We use the street committee.
I'll second
Okay, we have a motion and a second to use the street committee to appraise the front end loader, or the sweeper. Is there any is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried.
The next thing I see, that you got, the bathhouse, bathroom up there at the park. Today, I found out where I can take the roof, and we were hoping to have it down today, but it'll probably be in the next few days. So, there's nothing in it of value anymore.
Well, let's wait till we get on that on the agenda.
How about Ron, I was at the park yesterday, the new place is not open yet, is that scheduled to be, swing the
Usually-
doors open?
I know it's kinda we kinda use Terry's department because of the water,
Okay,
and freezing and stuff, but I would think now it could be any time.
we got a few days, people aren't gonna be there, there was a lot of people at the park yesterday, people walking
I'll
up,
turn it on, but if it gets cold, somebody's gonna heat it.
you know.
Let's do that off the agenda, cause we're getting out of whack here.
We're talking about the new restroom.
I know we are, but it don't specify in here which bathhouse, and it's on there. So let's wait till we get there,
Okay,
cause we're not supposed to be making decisions during that.
yep.
Mr. Mayor, I have an addition or two on our report. Just to let you know that this morning, we did, all officers qualified with their firearms. We went out to the dump ground, firing range, and John Dunlop, who is the conservation officer, also a state certified firearms instructor. He conducted the training. The sheriff's office and us, we went out together and we did qualify in our training. Our firearms were qualified for another year. And also I'm gonna be putting on a baton training, probably within the next couple of weeks. So we're gonna recertify ourselves in the use of our batons, so. Any questions for me?
Is the county gonna be part of that?
Say that again?
Is the county gonna be part of that training?
I don't know. We'll probably invite them, but I don't know if they're gonna
Okay.
come or not, so we'll see. We did, as you saw in our report, we did do a radar class. I did a radar class for the county, and then I did one for us too. We would have all done together, but the county had a conflict with the day that we had set up, so we set up another day, and I did the county, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything else from the department head reports? If not, we'll move on to public hearing at 7:30 for a Board of Adjustments. Resolution 2021-6, a variance for TLC.
You'll have to wait a little bit on that. It's only 7.
Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Okay, unfinished business. Hire electric superintendent and lineman.
We did not officially hire him by name and dollar amount last time because we had not officially talked to them, so we need to, for our audit purposes and the paper's purpose, give a name and a dollar amount of what we're hiring him for and who we're hiring.
We hired Dustin Graham and Zach Reaver. Now, what was the wage that was settled on?
$10 a piece.
Objection.
Dang, you got a deal. I'll go 11.
That was a day, wasn't it? That was per day, wasn't it?
Dustin was 35 and
Zach was 25.
Zach was 25, so we'll need a motion for that.
Okay.
We'll need a motion for the wages.
So I make a motion, we hire Dustin Graham as our electric superintendent, Zach Reber as our lineman, Dustin at $35 an hour, Zach at $25 an hour.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second for a $35 per hour wage for Dustin Graham and $25 an hour for Zach Reber. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, we're gonna go by roll call now. So I'm gonna start with Steers.
Aye.
Lichty,
Aye.
the older woman Lichty. Rangel,
Aye.
Odegaard. Nay. Zeller,
Aye.
aye, and Schwartz.
Aye.
Hearing 5 ayes and 1 nay, the motion carries. Motion carries. Now, we had the wage on there too, right?
That was in the,
Hmm,
that was in the motion.
Yeah. Dakota Energy Agreement is found on
Josh.
page 12.
Josh Keck.
Oh, okay, now. Wages, Josh Keck.
Hey, Josh.
Hey. So, back in, I think it was sometime in November, I was asked about, I was called from a council meeting and asked about being a temporary or an as-needed employee in case there's ever any outages or anything, so I can help out and whatever, and I said that I would do it for $50 an hour, which was about what my overtime rate was, because any time I would be helping would be in emergencies or after hours and whatever, and obviously it's a very dangerous job, and well, and I never heard anything back, I guess. I was told that you guys would discuss it and get back to me, and nobody ever did, and then like a month later, Hayden asked me to cover for him, and I told him that I would if you guys had passed this, what I was asking for or whatever, and he said he talked to somebody, I don't know who, and said that he thought that you guys passed what I asked for, so whatever, and well, last week was the first time I ever had to come in the 4 or 5 months it's been, and I got my pay stub, and I only got paid $33.50 for the hours that I came in, so I don't know where that came from, and I don't know was that ultimately settled on, I guess, but that's not what I agreed to.
I remember the $50 an hour, so I don't, that was a mistake evidently, because you should have gotten the $50 for that, so it's my feeling that we should go back and pay you that 50, and if you help out any other time now, that you should get that 50, like was requested.
Well, that's what I thought, you was getting was $50 an hour.
Because I remember you asking for that specifically. So we need a motion to make, okay, I'm gonna make the motion that we go ahead and pay him.
You're moving that?
Yes, that we pay him the 50 that we discussed.
Okay, we have a
And it should go
motion.
back to cover those 3 hours or whatever they helped out.
Well-
Any other, excuse me, at any other time that you have to come in and help out.
We have a motion to make up the difference between, what was it, 33? So it'd be
$33.50.
$17, $33.50 or,
Should be $16.50.
well, we make up the difference between that and $50, and he'd be paid $50 an hour for his work from here on. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to pay Josh Keck the difference between what he received and $50 an hour and $50 an hour from here on for his work, temporary work. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
Thanks for helping out, Josh.
Sorry about the mix-up.
Now we have number 3 on the unfinished business. Dakota Energy Agreement. There is a letter here. It's to Dakota Energy, Shad Felderman, here in South Dakota. Dear Shad, Miller City Council has voted to continue our discussion from last year concerning our need for assistance. We would like to pursue an annual agreement with Dakota Energy for the sole purpose of on-call and emergency backup assistance. Please consider our request. We look forward to meeting with you at your earliest convenience. Thank you. Now, I fully support this letter. And you will have no problem signing it. But we're going to vote by roll call on this, just for me to sign this letter. In case you've forgotten, I got tangled up in a deal like this before. And when it come time to do it, everybody backed out and left me sitting alone. That's not going to happen this time. So do we have a motion to send this?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to send this letter that I read to Dakota Energy, to Shad Felderman. Is there any discussion?
So it's clear, I'm sure to everybody, that this is an invitation only to address this issue. This is not an agreement to do anything with Dakota Energy at this point. This is simply the invitation to have him come in here, address the council with what he thinks that he could provide to us under our guidelines.
Thanks, Bob.
We will make the decision on Dakota Energy after we hear what his presentation would be.
Is there, let's see, did we have a motion? Yes. Okay, is there anything else? Any other discussion? If not, we're gonna vote by roll call, and I'm gonna start with Schwartz.
Aye.
Zeller.
Aye.
Odegaard. Rangel.
As long as it's just discussion, like Bob said, and doesn't go any farther. I still have hesitations on it, but we need it, so I'm gonna have to vote aye.
What are you voting?
I voted aye.
Aye.
Alderwoman Mackey.
Aye.
Alderman Sears. 6 ayes, no nays, the motion carries by a unanimous ballot. Motion carried. How much time we got? 10 minutes. Okay, I'm going to number 3 here in the new business. Bathhouse removal. Have you got any idea when that's gonna be done, Ron?
I found out today that I could take the roof out to the county's landfill. We got inspected and there's been a few rule changes, but he said he'll accept it. That is basically the only
But that's it.
thing. That was the only thing we're really waiting on. The bricks, they're gonna take and crush, so, weather permitting, maybe tomorrow it'll be down. So we got all the good stuff out of it that's worth anything, and some of the stuff hasn't been in very good shape anyway, so.
No, it needs to come down
Right.
because those cement blocks on the east end are about open.
Yeah, they're really, I don't know if you call it oxidized or what, but you could knock them in pretty easy, so. And then what Bob was asking earlier was the new bathhouse, as long as it's warm, we could turn that water on and that'd be kind of through Terry.
I've been driving up there quite often and there's quite a few people up there. In fact, there was a camper there one night.
Yep,
I just tell you, if we turn them on and it gets cold out, we're not winterizing
right.
again.
I
You're
get
gonna
that.
heat it.
We've heated it before, Terry, so.
Well,
The camper that was there called me quite a while ago and asked about it, and I said there were no bathrooms and told him all the, because it was actually cold that particular night, and he knew. I think that was the week we had that last snow, in fact. They were coming from Minnesota to hunt geese.
We still need to look at that, don't we? The floor of that thing that doesn't drain or. the sewer's
They
plugged up?
they did some work there, and it's under warranty. I've already talked to the Halls, I know the last name, I got it in my phone, I can't think of his last name. Something Worth. But they did quite a bit of work where the biggest problem was.
The ground concrete off?
They ground it off and had a vacuum and cleaned up the powder. There was a little in the women's restroom, and then they're gonna put a couple thresholds to keep the water in the shower area. What's going on is it's so flat, the water hits the shower and it runs away before it can get to the drain. So they're gonna put a threshold to kinda dam that water up. So
Will it
won't
just
do that.
sit there though unless it's squeegeed down to the drain?
It, for the most part, it runs, there is some puddles, but they will be addressed. They were gonna come back this spring to do some work. So, he got the worst of it last fall. And in one of the drains, we had to get Lenny Fisher in to clean it out, and I think it was just a bunch of cement powder from when they built it. They went in and got in one of the drain traps and the water couldn't get by it. But we ended up getting that cleaned off, and that was some of the problem too. So that's out of there. We took the sewer jet or the water truck or whatever it was and as fast as the water could come out, it could get out, so. That was the biggest issue there, so.
Are you gonna follow up with them to make sure they get back here?
Yep.
I'd rather get that taken care of
Yep.
before we get.
We just wanted to wait till warmed up and stuff, so.
Okay.
Yep. I'm trying to think of the guy's name, I can't think of it without thinking of it.
Jack,
Hollinsworth or something like, Hollinsworth.
Okay, is there any more on that? Let's see, we got time enough to do number 5. Oh, wait a minute. Number 4, wages for Aaron Zeller.
in the approving the wages, we kinda missed Aaron because he got a bump up 2 years ago. He did not get an increase last year, so we didn't really know what to put him in for this year, if it was the same as 2 years ago. A 2%, he currently made last year $13.62 per hour. 2% would put him at $13.89, and 4% would put him at $14.16, because he did not get the 2% last year. So I don't know what we should be paying.
Why did he not last year?
Because none of us got a raise, and it was
That
voted
was
to
just-
not give him a raise
That
either.
was part of that.
So what are you saying he should be making?
2% would put him at $13.89, and 4% would put him at $14.16. That would kind of cover him for last year's that he did not get an increase.
Nobody got one last year.
Nobody got one last year, but the rest of us all got 4% this year. Summer help usually gets 2% every year. That's where ordinances are set.
Did he get the 2% before?
None of the summer help did last year?
Yes.
Everybody but
did.
Aaron.
Everybody
So I make a
did.
motion, we give Aaron the 4% increase for this year.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion to give Aaron Zeller a 4% raise to make up for the one that he didn't receive. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried.
Sheila, abstain.
Two minutes. Okay, on number 8, I'm going to Orr's Yard Service quote, found on page 19.
Same price as last year. Taking those on in.
Is that about what that was before, Ron?
Yeah, it was last year.
That's
Or
what Terry
was that
said.
Terry's deal?
That's what he told me when he handed it. I mean, he told me give it to them guys, but.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah. That's what he charged before, so you guys had him do it, so.
And that all worked fine.
Well, if I would entertain a motion to approve Orr's Yard Services quote for the fertilizing and whatever.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we're almost about 30 seconds to public hearing.
Reason I haven't seen that show.
It being 7:30, time for an advertised public hearing, I would entertain a motion to adjourn as a common council and reconvene as a board of adjustments.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Okay, we have we're,
It's got the building permits. Oh,
no.
that one's right there.
Okay, we have a building permit here from TLC Olson Construction Incorporated. It's at 207 West Second Street, Miller, South Dakota. Our legal description is 597 feet of west lot 103, south 97 feet of lot 114, south 97 of east 8 feet of lot 12, block 2, original Miller resurvey. Now, it looks like the concrete slab is going to be too close to the sidewalk.
Tony can explain it.
So you tell us what you want changed.
Okay. Never been in front of a board before. As you can see on the house, there is, does everybody have a piece?
No, I didn't get a copy of it, but you've all seen it though.
There's a concrete steps on the east side and there's concrete steps on the south side. We want to remove them because they're starting to sag. Remove them, and what we do is we put like a deck there with steps coming down on both of them. On the east side and on the south side. And then the ones on the east side, the deck would go around towards the back, towards the north of the house, and then come back around eventually. For the deck, for the back. There's also a carport or a concrete driveway we want to install on the south side. The deck, okay, the deck would be 300 square foot altogether, if you add up both pieces. The carport in the front that we would like to put would be 360 square feet. It would have to be a very nice looking little carport to put your car under. And the square footage of both of them is 660 square foot. The,
You didn't sign.
Nope.
The
I don't
electric
until
didn't-
after the.
The electric didn't sign either.
the concrete we wanna pour out in front would be, the carport, sorry, would be 16 by 24. The concrete pad that we would pour foot wide from the edge of the house to the curb and gutter. And I did talk to Ron about grinding that curb down, and just not digging it out, just attached to the curb. We would have to, in this process, we'd have to remove the sidewalk from the house to the curb, but then we would put that back.
Is that carport on the south side of the house?
The carport will be on the south side of the house.
So it'll be between the house and the sidewalk?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if we can do that, can we?
And how far beyond the other properties will it extend?
How far to the south of the house?
Right.
Be 16 feet.
And what are the other houses on the block are? They're all, that's 16 from any other house along the street there?
Well, from the property line, well, from the edge of the carport to be the west side of it, would only be sticking west of the house by 4 feet. Does that make sense?
Shayla, can you pull it up on Google Maps?
I can, you can look right out the window here too, and
Oh, it's right over here.
Right on the
I
corner.
think there's.
But we'll be about 4 or 5 foot off the property line.
It's on the corner
with
here,
concrete.
Shirley, the
It's
brown,
right,
the brown house.
no, it's the one next to the brown.
Next to
house.
it.
It's going
Yep.
down,
So second house going west.
Across the street here, the vacant lot?
Isn't it where Patty Martinmas used to live?
Yes.
Bob, you used to live like that.
That's my old house.
Yeah.
Well, what the heck?
Now you know what he's talking
Now I know
about.
what you're talking about.
Yeah. The biggest thing for why we wanna do this is, like, it'll add a little value to the house, make it look a little nicer. People can park, instead of being on the street in the wintertime, you can pull your vehicle up next to your house, or in front of your house. And there is no way to have a garage there, no access from the alley, so it just, a little carport or something, would look a little nice there and have your vehicle under it, so it doesn't get full of snow.
It's not gonna encroach on anybody else's property then, at all?
No, sir.
Okay, so you're right within the distance that you have to be from,
Yep.
okay.
Doesn't block the sidewalk then?
No, no, sir.
But it's gonna be right on the north side of the sidewalk, carport.
Yes, sir.
That I have a problem with. The
Okay.
carport,
Okay.
not the decks, not the concrete.
Because it goes too far out?
Yeah. We don't let anybody else build for the back side of the sidewalk, unless it's already been there since Shepherd's Park.
And that's what I was getting at. That's what I was trying to figure out was how far away from the sidewalk, how far out was this?
I honestly, I don't, really offhand, I don't. I could run over and take a tape measure to it and tell you, but I don't really know. I wanna say it's probably gonna be 6 foot off the sidewalk.
You can go to a measuring tool there too, Shayla.
I'm trying to find it on this one, this is where we go. So in front of the house, right here.
Yep. And whatever 16,
I wanted meters, who wants to
How
convert?
far is that right there?
It's 7.2 meters.
So you can switch it to feet.
About 25 feet, 24, 25 feet.
so it's gonna be really quite short of the sidewalk.
I still have a problem with it. The decks I don't, because
The neighbor to the west, they have variance 3 or 4 years ago to stick the deck out, and I don't believe you're going out any further than their deck.
No,
24 feet, you said the concrete was, or well, the carport.
yeah, 16 by 24.
Oops, oops. Real close to the sidewalk.
Where your mark is, where you go, you just go sidewalk, then you have your measurement.
Well, stop.
The middle of the house.
Yeah.
You're doing
If
it.
you move it back to the middle of the house, we don't have, well, now I lost everything.
Did you talk to your neighbors, Tony, or?
Yeah, both the neighbors I talked to didn't agree.
Where did they go?
I didn't talk to Joe though.
You talked to them on both sides of the house, or?
Yeah. And they didn't act like they'd have an issue, so.
I have no idea where I went to. Maybe it's just.
Is this a permanent carport, or is it one of those metal deals?
It can be, my dad and I are going back and forth on the metal or the wood build, like, 6 or 8 posts with a roof on it. Something that just looks nice. The metal one doesn't always look so nice. So something that makes it look a little bit more attractive in the front.
Well, I agree, you need something there, because I lived in that house and parked on the street when I was a young buck, and it's a bummer. But luckily, Ron Hofteser was still plowing streets in those days, and he used to come move my vehicle so he could plow me out instead of burying my vehicle.
I'm old enough now, I don't do that.
We're talking 25 years ago he did that for me, so yeah, that's not a precedent
Go
there,
around
Ron.
them, don't
And I don't have a problem with pouring concrete. We don't have you can do your whole yard if you want to. We can't control that.
Okay.
Again, yeah, I agree you need it, but I think man, we're opening a can of worms. We start letting carports be built right up to the sidewalks, and I think that's not maybe what we're looking to have done there.
If I was shorten up the carport enough for a vehicle to get in there, but be right up close to the house? Or just, you don't want any carport whatsoever? Okay. So with the concrete and the decks, no one really would have a problem then with that?
I don't,
Okay.
You can do whatever you want, I think, with concrete, right?
Yep, I think that's what it said, yeah.
Can't see it.
Well, would you be okay, Tony, with the putting the concrete down there but no carport?
Yes.
How about you, Joe?
That'd be fine with me, because he isn't gonna stick out any further than Groveland's deck, but that carport's gonna stick out.
So he wouldn't be in line with the rest of them, then put that carport out
Yeah,
to the side,
it'd be
yeah,
sticking
way
way
out,
too far.
yeah.
Well, somebody wanna move that then, that we allow a concrete slab there but no carport?
And I do have a resolution, because you'll still need a variance for the deck, because both of those are gonna be too close to the lot line, so we still need a resolution for just the deck portion. The back and the side deck. The back, I don't think so, but the side and the
The
front.
side, on the, east side?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's 4 feet instead of 6. Is that right?
Actually, I think the house is like almost right on the lot line next.
It's really close.
That's, yeah.
But those steps stick out like 4.5 feet.
I think. And the side is, yeah, it's really close to the lot line.
But that's on a different variance.
I had 2 variances written up just in case the carport didn't fly. I have one that you can read for just the decks. And then the driveway, I don't think that even needs a building permit, really.
That little yard shed still in the backyard?
Yes.
I built that, I'll have you know. A long time ago.
I gotta go, this ain't going,
Nope, I don't. It's all yours.
Could've went either way.
He's not gonna have to resubmit it. The carport doesn't go.
No, we'll do the resolution without that on the building permit, and we'll just approve the building permit without the carport. We'll approve the decks, but not the carport portion. In the motion.
Okay. The resolution shows that it's close to the lot line. Okay.
So you probably need to approve the resolution before you approve the building permit.
You're okay with,
Pardon me?
you're okay with no carport then?
Yep.
Okay. Well, you know, they allowed things years ago that just stuck out, and we're trying to stop that. And so if we let you have that, then we'd have to let everybody in town let theirs stick way out too. Good plan.
We tried.
Yeah, that's all you can do is try.
So you need a motion, Shayla?
We need to read resolution number 2021-6, the B version. So if you have your resolution and your,
That's,
You need to vote against A to get rid of it?
huh?
Are they both on the table or not on the table?
No, if we read, where's your resolution? That's not it. Here we go. I have 2 different resolutions in here. This one had the carport in it, this one does not.
Okay.
We read that one without it?
Okay. Now here's resolution number 2021-6. A resolution authorizing a variance. Whereas chapter 40-31 of the municipal voting regulations of the city of Miller authorizes a variance for property in the residential district. And whereas TLC Olson Construction LLC owns the property described as the South 97 feet of West 2 feet of Lot 10, South 97 feet of Lot 11, and the South 97 feet of the East 8 feet of Lots 12, original Miller addition to the city of Miller, and have applied for a variance on said property. Now therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Miller that a variance is hereby granted for the above described property under the following conditions. The owners of the property described as the south 97 feet of the west 2 feet of Lot 10, south 97 feet of Lot 11, and the south 97 feet of the 8 feet of Lot 12, original Miller addition to the city of Miller, have applied for a variance on said property. The variance will allow for the placement of a front deck and a back deck to be placed closer to the lot line on the said property as set forth in the zoning regulations. Any other ordinances or sections of the municipal code of the city of Miller that may apply will be complied with. The variance will apply to any subsequent owner as it relates to said construction permitted by this resolution adopted this 5th day of April 2021. Now, if we're going to allow this, we'll need a motion to approve resolution number 2021-6B.
Make motion to approve resolution number 2021-6B.
Okay, we have a motion to approve resolution number 2021-6B. Is there any discussion?
Second.
I'll second
Roy
it.
second. Is there any discussion?
I have two comments. I was informed that original Miller should be original survey, original Miller resurvey. So I need to tuck in the resurvey word there. And also I'll put side deck because this is gonna wrap around the side as well. So it'll be front, side, and back. Cause I did not have that in there as well.
Oops. So you need a motion with those changes?
Yeah, I mean, that would be, include those changes.
Yeah, well, it should be part of the motion then.
Yes.
I modify my motion to accept those changes.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
You guys are good.
Resolution number 2021 -6B. Is there any more discussion? If not, we'll vote by roll call. I'll start with Alderman Steers,
Aye.
Alderwoman Necty,
Aye.
Alderman Rangel,
Aye.
Alderman Rutherford,
Aye.
Alderman Zeller,
Aye.
Alderman Schwartz.
Aye.
Hearing 6 ayes and no nays, the motion carried by unanimous ballot. Motion carried. Now we need a motion to go from the Board of Adjustments back to the regular council.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, the same.
Two of them.
Motion carried.
They weren't listening. Nobody else was listening.
Who made that motion? I didn't hear that, I was right. Thank you.
Let's do the rest of the building permits. Here, is there anything, are they all okay? Has everybody looked at them? So that would include theirs,
Yes.
and we'll need a motion to approve the building permits.
Make a motion, we approve the building permits.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Number 2, MMA training program, and that's found on pages 13 through 17.
Yeah, it's training. It's training. It's just, Minnesota Municipal Utilities Association. We can enroll the 2 employees that we have in the electric department, and they will come and spend a couple days training them, and it's hands-on training. First of all, they're gonna come and test them to see how well their electrical background is. They may advance past what they are right now. They'll test them for that. And then they'll have 3 days, pretty sure it's 3 days of training when they're here, hands-on training. And they'll come once a quarter for 2 days and then train the employees on the underground services and stuff. And then I think in May, there's a course that they'll have to go to in Minnesota. And I think it's a good opportunity to train our new employees on our underground services that we have. And the cost is $8,102 a year, and I think it's another $500 if you have 2. So it'd be $8,602, and the $500 extra is for books for the second person. So in the 4 years, it's gonna be a total of what, 32,000? And I think the training, if I'm reading this right here, is gonna be 4,000 to have them come for those 3 days. Another week with that schedule. I think it was down here, isn't it, Shayla, on this?
4,500, yeah.
Yep, 4,500 when they come. So I feel it's a good opportunity to train our new employees. And I also feel that it's well worth the money to have the training. And Dustin, do you have any opinion on it yourself? Do you think it's good? So, that being said, I'm gonna make a motion that we go ahead and hire MMUA to do the 4 years of training for our employees, plus the 3 days that they'll come next week. It's pretty sure it was next week. And one thing about it, it's all hands-on training, and they work for your training.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to hire MMUA to provide training for our 2 new electrical employees. Is there any discussion?
There is some money coming as well from Heartland, is that correct? That will help in.
We haven't gotten into Heartland. They do offer a sign-in bonus, I guess.
No, not that. Just, I think they help pay for this MMUA training, don't they?
That could be too. I haven't researched it farther on that.
I believe.
It was, at one point, I think they did send out some information that they would help on the training.
I believe there will be money from Heartland that helps with this
And I couldn't
training.
remember what the percentage was on
I
it.
don't know exactly either right now.
Is there any more discussion? If not,
Oh, they also give them, I think they give them a form too, so they can record all of their stuff, so they get the hours or whatever they're required to be journeyman or lineman. So all of that will be recorded too and set aside so that they will reach that, I don't know, I can't remember, Josh, is it 8,000 hours or something that you need that'll help them get to that point. And they'll show them how to document everything too.
is there any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Let's see, get that cross off. Number 5 is advertised for taxi lane improvements.
Okay, this is for the airport, to extend the taxi lane out by Marcus Soon's hangar, and then to redo the roads around the other hangars, and to put, drain tile in, and Karen was here today and met with us, the airport committee, ones that showed up, and, she was hoping for 100% grant. All right, what you guys got on?
Yep.
Just hoping for it, or?
Well, the city usually pays 6.5% of
Yeah.
that.
I'm on that committee.
They
I'm on
just,
that committee.
Yeah.
Didn't know about the meeting?
I sent that note last week, but I figured you're a little,
Yeah. I probably.
I
heard
thought
about
it
it.
sounded like pretty good news.
So, she's looking at getting a 100% grant,
Well,
trying.
it's not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed, but,
But, that's what they were told in their office,
okay.
to apply for 100%.
to apply for 100%, because with this COVID stuff, that's what they're doing,
Oh, okay.
so.
So that would save the city a little money too,
50.
50,000.
Otherwise it costs us 50, which we was gonna do anyway, but.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve advertising for taxi lane improvements.
We got a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve advertisement for taxi lane improvements. Is there any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Number 6 is Helms and Associates. Invoice number 23451 for $34,770.43, and it's found on pages 18. This is for the,
The design phase that we've been.
it's for the design work.
I'll make a motion to approve Helms and Associate invoice 23451 for $34,770.43.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to pay Helms and Associates invoice number 23451 for $34,770.43. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Number 7, annual report review.
I don't know if everybody had a chance to look at it. KBA did our annual report for us. This is just kind of a quick overview. Our total net position right now is $4,276,299. It gives a breakdown of all of our revenues and expenses. This report will be posted online. If it's approved today, it'll be posted online tomorrow for anybody to view. And it will also be published in the newspaper. I don't know if anybody has any questions on it. Got all of our revenue breakdown and all of our expense for each fund. fund balance ending for each. Revenue versus expenses. Water, sewer, and electric fund are separated. These are just our changes in their net position. So, let's see, for our water, sewer, electric, we had the electric shows a $700,000 deficit, but that's actually, we had all of our funding 3 years before, so that's just getting rid of the rest of the project funds. So it's really, this year it'll look normal, I should say. And then it has a list of all of our outstanding debt. This is more reworded, and then we have all of our outstanding debt listed separately. It's a lot to go over, but if anybody wants to come in and go over it in a little more detail, we can do that.
Is that all you have for us on that then, Cheryl?
Unless somebody has specific questions.
Is there any questions about this annual report? The best thing you can do if you got any question about it is like Shayla said, go in the office and request to look at it. Okay, the next
I need
thing,
a motion to either approve or.
you want to approve that? Okay, we'll need a motion to approve the annual report review.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Motion carried. The next thing is number 9 is Civil Air Patrol magazine advertisement.
They called, they have a magazine, let's see if I can find it. That they publish. I believe it's just quarterly. And a lot of the airports advertise in it. We do have a Civil Air Patrol group that's here. They're made up of Kai Moore and Miller students. And they just wanted to know if we wanted to advertise in their magazine. And then the rates are on the last page of how much they are. Like this.
Did we have one in there before?
What's that?
Did we have one in there before?
We've never had one, they've never
Lots of
asked.
cities and police and sheriff's offices support it.
How much is it? What's an advertisement?
The different sizes, like here's a fourth of a page is on the last page. $3.95, but if you get down to your smaller, like this little one with bird, nature's own bird seed, or whatever that might be, wild bird feed. I believe that one's $2.95. Or 1/12 of the page, that might be 1/12, I'm not quite sure what a 12th is, oops, sorry. These, Civil Air Patrol help with a lot of search and rescue, fire. They're a part of the Air Force, but they do help with a lot of, it's kind of a training for high school kids. And then they also have a listing, I'm trying to find one that's a list, oh, like here. The listings are 45 and then the column inch is 95, so I would think one of these would be 95. I don't know.
Those are probably the 1/12.
That looks like a 12, yeah. The 1/12 is what the 195. These little ones here must be the 1/18, this little. And if they're in color, they're a little more expensive.
But 1/12 is a nice size.
Well, 1/12, yeah. Is this something you'd like to do, or no? And if so, pick a size, any size.
Do we advertise anyplace else at all?
No. Not that I'm aware of, no. Probably be a Miller Airport advertisement, or some of the other ones for the airports. Youth Electric.
We don't have to decide tonight, do we?
I don't know when their deadline was, I don't remember on their letter. But if you wanna wait and. There is a letter came with that. Oh. This phone, this computer's really. There's a letter from the Civil Air Patrol. If you want a table and look at it, we can do that too, it's up to you.
What would we pay for that? Out of what?
Probably the airport. If you
So the
want it to
airport
be an
fund?
airport ad, I would do it out of the airport. If you wanted just a City of Miller, then it would be. Not sure where.
I think it'd be nice, a Miller City Airport ad in there at the 1/12 size. I like that. Good, nice airport. We ought to
Promote it. And they do come here. They do their training here in Miller.
So Air Patrol's been here quite a bit.
I make a motion, we do the 1/12 ad.
I'll second that.
Okay, which one do you want to do, Bob?
1/12.
Right there.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to do 1/12 of a page. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Hey,
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Number 12 is hire summer help.
You're okay with your one person?
I visited with, the father and, let him know that the hours may vary a little bit because of the age. And there are restrictions and he knows that, so.
Okay.
And you want him for ballpark?
Ball field.
So that's 2 lifeguards then?
She wants
lifeguard.
one.
One more lifeguard.
Did everybody see the application?
Everybody see them?
I think so. I did. Did you see the application? Okay.
Cindy said she only needs one more, as of right now. And one of them, out of the 2 applied last year, so she would rather get her first chance. I can't remember the name, I think Sheila knows who it is.
Abby Blake applied last year, but we already had enough lifeguards when she applied. So Sydney would like to offer her last position to Abby Blake. And the other one was Luke Johnson for the ballpark.
Need a motion or?
And they would start at the 10:50. 10:50 an hour.
One at a time? Or both of them?
You can do both of them.
I'll make a motion that we hire Luke Johnson for the ballpark and Abby Blake for the swimming pool.
I would second that.
Okay, is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried.
What was the wage in that?
10:50.
10-5-0? Okay. I'll let him know.
Is there any, we got, only thing left on the agenda is approval of the bills. Do we have a motion to approve the bills?
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Is there any other business that needs to come before the city council before we adjourn? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so moved, we adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried and the meeting's adjourned at 8:17.
What's that?
I was just wondering if city's still taking summer help for other
Yeah, Jim?
departments.
Did you, try to call me earlier or?
Aaron?